In this video, I will show you how to use SysView2 to send email alerts when DB2 has detected authorization failures. The business problem is that DB2 has sensitive and proprietary data, and authorization failures may tip you off that someone is trying to access that data. You may want to know about that attempted breach as soon as possible. We recommend limiting email sending to critical problems where you need immediate notification that have low volume. You don't want to send hundreds of emails. They will end up being ignored. So, what do you have to set up in SysView2? Well, first, you have to enable the email feature. Next, we have to set up a destination group that will have the email addresses to receive these emails. Then we need to write an IQL request to fire on IFKID140, which is an off-failure event, and also filter to only fire when a critical access was attempted. IQL stands for Insight Query Language. Insight was the original name of SysView2. Finally, we need to add an exception definition to actually send the email. So, to turn on the email capability, we need to go to the IDDC PRMS member of IDB2 source and look for a keyword called call desk and set that either to mail or to yes. We also want to verify that the desk group's DSM parameter is pointing at the correct destination groups file. Next, that destination groups file. Here, I'm defining a new destination called authfail. We give it a description, a from email address, so the emails will look like they came from this email address, and one or more to email addresses for people that will receive the emails. And then here we also customize the subject line, where we put in some of the system variables to get values out of the message. Once this is done, we'll need to restart the data collector to pick up these values. Next, we need to build the IQL request. I'm going to use the IQL editor that's new with our release R20. It's a PC application that will help you design IQL and see that the syntax is correct and what the report is going to look like. We're going to use authfail as a model, and we're going to create a new IQL request we're going to call it EXCP0140. EXCP because it's part of the exception processor, and 140 because it's using IFKID140. Then we need to copy the declare section from authfail into this new IQL request so that all the variables are defined. Line 9 of this code names the request and points at the IFKID record that we're going to use. Audit failures is our name for IFKID140. And then lines 14 through 20 format the rest of the report. We have a where clause to limit this to only what we consider critical and we've added a title and terminal so that this request can be displayed on your terminal. The next step is to upload that file to Mainframe into IQL requests. And we'll need to start that. When we first start, we'll just use a manual start command to do our initial testing. But once everything is working, we will add that request into the startup member of IQL.source with the line that says include EXCP0140. Anytime we want to display that request, we'll use the command EXCP0140. The last thing we need to do is to define the IQL exception. So we'll go to the main menu of SysView2, We use option 0 for permanent exception definitions. Next, we'll pick option 4 for the IQL-based exceptions. Then we'll do an add command, and we'll fill out the panel that we see here, giving it exception a name of EXCP0140. I've picked a severity level of W for warning, and there's an optional field here where we could filter on the subsystem name if desired. Now, most of the panels for the exception, we can take defaults, but there's a couple we'll probably want to change. Display controls, we'll want to add the go-to screen. So on that panel in the go-to screen field, I put the command to display the request that we built. What this will do is when we're looking at the exception G run command, and that will jump over to that request where we can see the report. The other thing we want to change is on exception actions part 2, where we want to add the destination group so we get the email sent to the people that we want them sent to. Once this is all done, the system will prompt us to hit PM6 to restart the exception system and activate this new exception. So now, when Sysview for DB2 detects an authorization exception, it will send an email to the people in the destination group that will look something like this, giving the information about the exception. And that's all there is to it. Thank you for watching.